and welcome everyone to Actual English. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 247 and today's topic is sunburn. Do you get burned easily? Do you get sunburned easily? I rarely get burned, but there was a time, this was when I was in, I think, high school. My mother and I, we went to Hawaii and I wanted to get tanned so quickly. The day we arrived at our hotel in Hawaii, I ran straight to the swimming pool. And being young and not knowing much about sunburns and the dangers of being under the sun for so long, all of a sudden, I guess I laid out in the sun for about 3-4 hours in the hottest sun. During those hours, you should stay away from the sun, let's say from 10 o'clock in the morning until 2-3 in the afternoon. Yes, the strong rays of sun, I was baking under that sun. And so I ended up having blisters all over my chest area and my back, and I started peeling even before I came back to Korea. So you can get sunburned. It's important to protect your skin and your face from getting burnt. Okay, let's talk about sunburns today. Here we go.
Kelly, it's summer. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Too hot for my liking, but that's another subject. You're flashing a lot more skin than before.
Oh.
Looks very nice. But did you put on your sunblock?
I did, indeed. I never leave the house without it. Even in winter, I wear 50 SPF.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't matter what the weather's like. And
all year round?
They say that all year round you should wear at least 35, I think is the number.
Did people in Canada do that as well?
Well, I think that all people are supposed to, because
Sure.
regardless of your skin tone, the sun is now so dangerous.
Yeah,
and
it's not good for your skin.
No. I mean, I remember going on vacation with someone that was very, very dark to Thailand. And did they ever get sick? I
Really?
mean, they were sick for weeks.
They get sunburn and everything.
It was surpassed sunburn. It was vomiting, chills. I think they had a fever. They had blisters that were terrible. They're in a lot of pain. So definitely I cover myself with 50 and I try not to expose myself for too long.
Sure. I mean, I thought, because I'm pretty dark complexion-wise.
Compared to me, yeah.
And I didn't think I could burn until I went away. I think I was like 14 or 15, went to
You
the south
learned,
of France.
didn't
Yeah.
you?
And I was just on this rubber ring in the sea for like 4 hours.
Oh,
with
water makes it worse
Yeah.
too, because it reflects up at you.
And literally, the whole of my shoulders, the whole of my chest and everything got so burnt for about 2 or 3 days. I couldn't move. I was just in the same position. It is super painful. So prevention is definitely better than cure when it comes to sunburn, right?
Well, you know what they say, don't mess with Mother Nature. She's bigger than you.
So sunblock 50 all year round it is then?
For me anyway, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put it on all over my body, every nook and cranny.
Okay, you do that.
We listened to a conversation between Peter and Kelly, and as they mentioned, yes, it's true that Kelly has a paler complexion compared to Peter. And he said that since he has a darker complexion, he thought that he wouldn't easily get sunburned, but that's not the case. But I would say that I think in most cases it is true that darker complexioned people or darker skinned people get less sunburned, or they get burned, but not as easily as pale complexioned people. Okay, let's take a look at the conversation. Peter says, "Hey, Kelly, it's summer. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter." He's repeated hotter 3 times. Why? To stress that it is getting really hot. And he says, too hot for my liking. So basically, too something means too something, overly something for me. You're saying that it is too much of something. It's gone over a limit or an extent. That it's too much for you to handle. So here he's saying it is too hot for my liking. It's way hotter than he likes. He does like hot temperatures, but not this hot. Okay, moving on, he says, you're flashing a lot more skin than before. Flash means what? There could be a flash of light, but we're talking about flash in the verb form. He says, you are flashing a lot more skin than before. Flash in this case means to show. It means to display. Okay, so basically he's saying, hey, you're showing a lot more skin than before. She says, oh, really? It looks very nice, but did you put on your sunblock? You can also say, did you put on sunblock? She says, I never leave the house without it. I never leave the house without it, meaning I never leave home without applying sunblock. Okay, or sunscreen is another way of calling it. Even in winter, I wear 50 SPF. Yeah, I think even in Korea we say SPF, SPF. It's short for sun protection factor. It's too long, so we often just say SPF, SPF. 50 is pretty strong. There are higher sun protection factors, but she wears 50, even in the winter. And he says, really? Wow. Kelly says it does not matter. It doesn't matter what the weather is. It doesn't matter. So Peter says, okay, you mean all year round? You wear sunblock all year round? All year round, you all know, right? It means 365 days a year. Okay, year round or all year round throughout the year. She says they say that all year round you should wear at least 35. You don't have to wear 50, but you should wear at least 35. Okay? Did people in Canada do that as well? So now he's asking Kelly about what Canadians usually do. Now, Kelly says, well, I think that all people, whether you're from Korea, Canada, America, wherever you are from, you're supposed to, because regardless of your skin tone, the sun is so dangerous. Regardless means unconcerned or without taking into account. So, in other words, she's saying no matter what your skin tone is, regardless of your skin tone, no matter what type of skin you have, regardless of your skin tone, the sun is now so dangerous, so you have to wear sunblock. Yeah, it's not good for your skin, he says. Of course, here the it, he's referring to the sun. I remember going on vacation with someone that was very, very dark to Thailand. Now, what is she saying by a person or someone that was very, very dark? She's talking about skin tone, skin color, complexion. So she's saying that she has gone on vacation with a friend or with someone who had a dark complexion, who had very dark skin. Thailand, and did they ever get sick? Now, she's saying, oh, and my friend really got sick. And did they ever get sick? Really? Peter asks, because he's wondering. Her friend had a dark complexion. He or she was very dark, but, well, they got sick. She says, I mean, they were sick for weeks. Sick for how long? Her friends were sick for many, many weeks. He asks, did they get sunburned and everything? Now, you can get a sunburn. I got a sunburn. I got sunburned. I got sunburnt. These are all ways of saying it. Here it's sunburnt. S-U-N-B-U-R-N-T. You can also say sunburned with an E-D. S-U-R-B-U-R-N-E-D. They both work. So he's asking, did they get sunburnt and everything? Is that why they were sick? Kelly says it surpassed sunburn. Okay, it surpassed sunburn. When you surpass something, you're going beyond something. Say, for example, you're going beyond an extent, a limit, okay? Maybe even a degree or range. You're going over some kind of limit, you are surpassing something. So she's saying sunburn, not only a sunburn, it surpassed sunburn. It was worse than a sunburn. It was vomiting and chills. And he says, oh, wow. I think they had a fever, meaning a high temperature. They had blisters that were terrible. What is a blister? We can get blisters on our feet. We can get blisters on our lip. We can get blisters on our fingers. You can get blisters from, I guess, from burns or even from friction. A blister is a swelling of the skin where it's usually, or the swelling area or the swelled area is filled with a type of liquid. So often if you rub your skin together or if you rub your foot or your skin against something, because of friction, you will get blisters. Even when you're tired, you can get a blister on your lip or also a cold sore. Or let's say, for example, if you get sunburned. As I told you, I got blisters on my chest and my back. So blisters are swells that are filled with liquid. So she's saying that they had blisters that were terrible. They were in a lot of pain. So definitely, I cover myself with 50 and I try not to expose myself for too long. Expose means to uncover or bare to the air or even cold or even sunlight, okay? You're leaving yourself open to danger, okay? So she says, I cover myself with 50, meaning I apply a lot of sunblock, 50 SPF, and I try not to expose myself for too long, meaning I try not to stay out under the sun or in the sun for too long. Sure, he says, I thought because I'm pretty dark complexion-wise, complexion we're talking about your skin tone or your appearance. Now, I have, I would say medium complexion. I'm not exactly pale, I'm not dark, I'm somewhere in the middle. Now, if you tend to have very white skin, we don't say white skin, we say pale skin. So you can say, I have a pale complexion. Okay, if you tend to be darker, you can say, I have a dark complexion. But usually when you're talking about your skin tone, especially your face, you would say complexion. We'll go over that word later on. And of course, Kelly says, well, yeah, compared to me, you are dark complexion. Peter says, and I didn't think I could burn. He didn't think. Until I went away. Go away in this case. In the past, went away. He's talking about going on a vacation, going away somewhere. I think I was about 14 or 15, and I went to the south of France. So he went to France. And I was just on this rubber ring in the sea for like 4 hours. I've, underlined a few words here and circled and triangled a few words. So let's take a look. He didn't think that he would burn so easily, but he's learned from his experience. When he was 14 or 15, what happened? He went away, or he went on vacation to France, and he was on this rubber ring. What is a rubber ring? We're not talking about a ring you wear on your finger. We're talking about a ring that's round, but it's made of rubber, also called a tube, okay? So maybe he was playing in the water, in the ocean, and he was, wearing a tube. For how long? For 4 hours with no, I guess maybe he was talking about with no sunblock or protection. Now, Kelly says, oh, water makes it worse too. Why? Because it reflects up at you, okay? It reflects. The sunlight hits the water and it reflects straight at you. So you will get a darker tan or you will get sunburned much more easily. So he says, and literally, the whole of my shoulders, the whole of my chest, and everything got so burned. The whole of my something, the whole of something means the entire. So when he says the whole of my shoulders, it means my entire shoulders. My shoulders all over my shoulders. The whole of my chest, he's saying all over my chest, okay? He got burnt. For about 2 or 3 days, I couldn't move. I was just in the same position. He stayed in the same position because he could not move. Why? It is super painful. So he's saying that it was super painful. He got so burned that it was painful he couldn't even move. He had to stay in one position for a couple of days. Well, you know what they say, Kelly says, don't mess with Mother Nature. Mother Nature, we're just talking about nature itself, okay? She says, she is bigger than you. We often say, for example, name cars. When we talk about cars, we can say that it is a she. Boats are called a she as well. Mother Nature is also referred to as a she. So she's talking about Mother Nature. She is bigger than you, meaning Mother Nature is very powerful. She is stronger and much more powerful than you. Now he says, so sunblock 50 all year round it is then. And of course, Kelly says, for me anyway, yeah, means she always wears sunblock. Peter says, okay, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to wear it all over my body, every nook and cranny. Nook and cranny is what? Every nook and cranny. Nook and cranny, they almost always go together. It means every little corner of something, okay? Nook and cranny, every bit of something. So he's saying, I'm going to put on sunblock all over my body, on all parts of my body. And she says, okay, you do that to protect yourself from the sun. Okay, everyone, make sure you wear sunblock as well. And let's take a listen to the conversation one more time.
Kelly, it's summer. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Too hot for my liking, but that's another subject. You're flashing a lot more skin than before.
Oh.
Looks very nice. But did you put on your sunblock?
I did, indeed. I never leave the house without it. Even in winter, I wear 50 SPF.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't matter what the weather's like. And
all year round?
They say that all year round you should wear at least 35, I think is the number.
Did people in Canada do that as well?
Well, I think that all people are supposed to,
Sure.
because regardless of your skin tone, the sun is now so dangerous.
Yeah,
and
it's not good for your skin.
No. I mean, I remember going on vacation with someone that was very, very dark to Thailand. And did they ever get sick? I
Really?
mean, they were sick for weeks.
They get sunburn and everything.
It was surpassed sunburn. It was vomiting, chills. I think they
wow.
had a fever. They had blisters that were terrible. They're in a lot of pain. So definitely I cover myself with 50 and I try not to expose myself for too long.
Sure. I mean, I thought, because I'm pretty dark complexion-wise.
Compared to me, yeah.
And I didn't think I could burn until I went away. I think I was like 14 or 15, went to
You
the south
learned,
of France.
didn't
yeah.
you?
And I was just on this rubber ring in the sea for like 4 hours.
Oh,
with
water
no-
makes it worse
Yeah.
too, because it reflects up at you.
And literally, the whole of my shoulders, the whole of my chest and everything got so burnt for about 2 or 3 days. I couldn't move. I was just in the same position. It is super painful. So prevention is definitely better than cure when it comes to sunburn, right?
Well, you know what they say, don't mess with Mother Nature. She's bigger than you.
So sunblock 50 all year round it is then?
For me anyway, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put it on all over my body, every nook and cranny.
Okay, you do that.
Welcome back, everyone. It's now time for actual expressions. Let's take a look at the first vocab word we have. It's flash. As you see in the verb form, it means to show. Okay? Peter was talking about how Kelly is flashing more skin these days, meaning she is showing more skin these days. Regardless. Regardless means unconcerned or disregarding. Surpass. Surpass means to go over a certain extent. Range, right? So some synonyms are outdo, exceed, or even outweigh. Blister is very similar to a sore, but even closer to a swelling, okay? So it is a swelling that's usually filled with serum or some kind of liquid like pus, and it is very painful when you get blisters. Expose. Although the word starts with an E, it's not expose, it's more of an expose. Expose, and some synonyms are open, uncover. You're opening yourself to danger. If you go out under the sun without any protection, you're exposing yourself to the sun. Moving on to complexion, usually you would use this word when you are talking about your face, your skin tone or appearance of your face. So a synonym is skin coloring, especially of the face. Moving on to adjective for my liking. Peter said that it was getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Too hot for my liking is what he said, meaning it's too hot for him. The weather was too cold for my liking. The weather was too cold for my liking. It means it was too cold for you. You could not handle the cold. Okay? Moving on to all year round. This is easy, meaning 365 days. Almost always without pause or stop. So here we go. You should make it a habit to wear sunblock all year round. Make something a habit means what? Keep on doing it so it becomes a habit. Make sure to wear sunblock all year round. Make it a habit to wear sunblock all year round. And finally, the whole of my plus body part means the entire area, all over that area. The whole of my back is starting to peel. This is what happens when you get a sunburn. This is what happened when I got a sunburn. So when I went on vacation, as I told you earlier, to Hawaii, I was out in the sun for too many hours under the very strong sunlight and the strong sun rays that the whole of my chest and the whole of my back started to peel in maybe 2 or 3 days. I got badly burnt. So peel means your skin peels away. So one more time, the whole of my back is starting to peel. Okay, good job everyone. Practice more on your own.
So what would our life be like without the sun? Probably not very good. But even with the sun, it can be a little bit dangerous. If you go out in the sunlight, you can get burned, especially if your skin does not have a lot of melanin. What is melanin? Melanin is what makes some people's skin darker than others. People who happen to be from Europe or Asia tend to have less melanin than those from maybe India or Africa, or where the dark-skinned people live. So the reason, it's not like it's a good thing or a bad thing, but if you have less melanin, then you are more prone to sunburn. So make sure you wear lots of sunblock so that you can make sure that you're okay in the sun and you won't get hurt. If you have lots of melanin, then good for you because you naturally are better in the sun.
It's now time for our final segment, Actual Story. Eugene H. has helped us today, and of course we're talking about what? Getting sunburned. Sunburn is our topic for today. All right, he talks about how if you go out into the sunlight under the strong rays of the sun, you could get sunburned. Let's take a look. If you go out into the sunlight, you could also be under the sun. What happens? You can get burned, especially if your skin does not have a lot of melanin. So you can burn, you will burn much easily if your skin does not have a lot of melanin. Melanin. One more time, melanin. Melanin is what makes some people's skin darker than others. So we're talking about melanin. He was kind enough to explain that to us. Melanin is what makes some people's skin darker than others. If you have less melanin, then you are more prone to sunburn. You're prone to something. You're liable, likely to get sunburned. So he's saying if you have less melanin, meaning in this case, you are more likely to get sunburned. You're more prone to sunburn. Okay, you're liable. Prone means liable or likely, so keep that in mind. And finally, make sure to wear or put on sunblock so that you will be okay in the sun. Okay, just to make sure that you will be okay in the sun or under the sun. Now keep in mind, the reason why we say in the sun is because usually if you're outside under the sun, you are in or under the rays of the sun. Okay, so we often say in the sun. Make sure you wear sunblock all year round to protect your skin. And make sure to wear sunblock to be okay in the sun all year round, even in the winter, everyone. Let's take a listen one more time.
So what would our life be like without the sun? Probably not very good. But even with the sun, it can be a little bit dangerous. If you go out in the sunlight, you can get burned, especially if your skin does not have a lot of melanin. What is melanin? Melanin is what makes some people's skin darker than others. People who happen to be from Europe or Asia tend to have less melanin than those from maybe India or Africa, or where the dark-skinned people live. So the reason it's not like it's a good thing or a bad thing, but if you have less melanin, then you are more prone to sunburn. So make sure you wear lots of sunblock so that you can make sure that you're okay in the sun and you won't get hurt. If you have lots of melanin, then good for you, because you naturally are better in the sun.
A lot of people do make it a habit to wear sunblock every single day. It's almost part of their routine, okay, to never forget to apply sunblock or sunscreen before they leave home, which is a very smart thing to do. Now, I'm beginning to try to do that, but it's still not become a habit, so often I forget to put on sunblock. Do you wear sunblock every single day? They say you can even get tanned under the fluorescent light when you're indoors, so it's very important to do so. You know, these days people are so concerned about getting burned. Some people don't like to get tanned, but here's one thing that I've noticed some people saying. If you wear sunblock, you will not tan. So I went to the pool with a friend of mine and she asked if I had sunblock. I said, yeah, I have sunblock for the face, but I have suntan lotion and oil for your body. And she said that she needed to apply sunscreen or sunblock on her body because she did not want a tan. I don't think just because you wear sunscreen, you won't tan. It will just help to protect your skin from burning under the sun. Okay. Anyhow, the whole point is just to make sure to wear sunblock to protect your skin. The higher the SPF, the better it is, right? Kelly even told us, wear at least 35. Okay, so that was our topic today. We talked about sunburn. Please do go over the expressions and the patterns on your own. Next time, let's talk about something that people suffer from, especially in the summer season. Air conditionitis, also called AC-itis. Now, this is when you're outside and you may enter a building or your office or any indoor area where the air conditioning is so strong. There's a huge temperature change, so often you will get a headache and feel dizzy and get sick. Let's talk about AC-itis or air conditionitis next time. In the meantime, come to our homepage, everyone. Come on over to www.ebse.co.kr. Look for Actual English and share your thoughts. That is it for today. I'll catch you again next time. Until then, take care and bye for now.